Hello, jury, and welcome back to the courtroom. I'm Chris Lockwood, and this is Sword of Truth Apologetics. This series is called Proving Christianity. Nothing is assumed, everything is tested. All right, so we have Exhibit B. We'll call the last video Exhibit A. This is going to be Exhibit B, all right? So again, welcome back to the courtroom. Last episode, we established our first exhibit. Truth exists. Truth is objective. Truth is knowable. That wasn't Christianity. That was philosophy. All right? Science can describe the how, philosophy the why. Okay? They are distinct from each other. We're asking the why. Today, we place our second exhibit before the court. Okay? Remember, nothing is assumed here. We're going to build everything brick by brick, only on what we know. So why does logic work? Logic is not matter. It's not material, right? This is why it's distinct from science. This is philosophy, all right? Think about this. Can you hold logic? Can you weigh it? Can you photograph logic? Can you put the law of non-contradiction under a microscope? Of course not. Logic is real, but it isn't physical. So what are the laws of logic? Okay, there's laws of science, there's laws of matter, okay? There's laws of everything that we find in this world, don't we? Well, what are the laws of logic? The laws of logic aren't inventions. They are discoveries. Okay, let's talk about some of those laws. The first law, the law of identity. What is that law? Okay, the law of identity. A is A thing is what it is. Pretty simple. And logic, as you know, we've all taken math class when we realize 1 + 1 = 2. Logic is actually pretty simple. But it's because our minds have been so conditioned to think unlogically, or to call other things logic that aren't, that we kind of forget. So law of identity, A is A thing is what it is. All right. The law of non-contradiction. This is one of my favorites, all right? Because you can really cross a lot of ideals out, and you can expose a lot of lies. And just based on this law, this is called the law of non-contradiction. A thing cannot both be and not be at the same time, in the same sense, okay? 2 + 2 can't equal 4, and then at the same time, 2 + 2 = 5. That's the law of non-contradiction, okay? There's a lot of examples of that. So we're going to go over those. Now, the third law I want to talk about is the law of the excluded middle. This is another important one. A statement is either true or false. There is no third option. Okay? Every scientific paper, every mathematical equation, every courtroom, every conversation depends on these laws. Now, let's go to Act 3 here. The incredible question. Okay? And here's a question almost nobody asks. Where did these laws come from? See, here we're going to take things to their logical conclusion. Because if you have a foundation in what you're doing, and if you're formulating ideals that have a strong foundation, then you're going to want to take everything to its logical conclusion. And this is one of the truth tests. This is one of the ways you can find truth, like we discovered in the last video, and expose lies or non-truths. Okay? You have objective truth, and you have a lot of non-truth. Now, people will disguise non-truth as truth, but how do we discover what is not truth when people call it truth? You take things to its logical conclusion, all right? So the question almost nobody asks, where did these laws come from? And we're taking this to its logical conclusion, okay? Who discovered them? Why do they work? everywhere. Why does logic work everywhere, at all times, every time? Okay, let's look at the properties of logic. Logic is universal. Logic is immaterial. Logic is immutable. Logic is necessary. And logic is also an abstract concept, meaning it's not physical. It's not a physical object. Therefore, it's an abstract concept. Okay, that's kind of like using the law of the excluded middle, right? It's either one thing or the other. There is no middle ground. And logic is either a physical object or it's a abstract concept. And we've already established that logic is an abstract concept or an abstract. Now, matter has none of these properties. Okay? Matter has none of these properties. Matter changes. Logic doesn't. Matter exists in one place. Logic exists everywhere. Okay? Now, one of my favorite philosophers, theologians, book writers, whatever you want to call them, of all time is a guy named C.S. Lewis, the original Chronicles of Narnia author. Well, what a lot of people don't know is he authored a lot of theological books, philosophical books. He was a very logical man, and that's why he really kind of spoke to me. Okay, he just put things. He took everything to its logical conclusion. Now, Lewis observed something profound, actually. What he said is, if our thoughts are simply the accidental product of irrational causes, okay, we're talking about now, right? There's two choices. Either we are created beings or we are evolved, right? Evolution, an accidental cause. So if our thoughts are simply the accidental product of irrational causes, why should we trust them? Okay, that's the logical conclusion of that. Okay, if chemicals produce our reasoning, and it's scientific fact, chemicals can produce some of our reasoning, how do we know they're producing truth? And this is a great way to the materialists out there and the people that think we just got here by accident. You know, you ask them, but then those same people will believe in truth. They'll believe in objective truth. But you know, if our mind was built for evolutionary survival, then how can you make any truth statements at all? Everything that you do is for evolutionary survival, and there is no truth. According to that point of view, but we already know there is truth, right? This is a proof of something that we're going to obviously build to. I don't want to spoil it yet. I want you guys to get there, all right? Instead of survival, materialism. Okay, how do we know the thoughts that you have, okay, and the chemicals that are producing our reasoning are producing truth instead of survival, which is basically what I just said. Okay, materialism undermines the very reasoning used to defend materialism. Okay, you get that? So it violates the law of non-contradiction. See, now we're using logic here. So materialism or evolutionary theory that we all got here by accidental mutations and explosions in the universe, it doesn't survive the law of non-contradiction, because in order to make that statement, you have to use reasoning to defend materialism. And as we've already seen, if reasoning is a product of evolution, then we can't trust it. It cannot produce truth. But the evolutionists are making truth statements saying that this is how we got here. So it violates the law of non-contradiction. Okay? And we'll get deeper into that. Act 6, one of my mentors and my favorite people, Chuck Missler. Missler loved asking the question, information always comes from intelligence. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. You got to really think about this now. The DNA strand, for example, all it is, it's billions and billions of strands of information, right? And we pass on to generation to generation, information about us. Where does information come from? Is it some result of accidental explosions? No. We know one thing, all right? Through our logic and reasoning, information always comes from intelligence. Language, mathematics, DNA, computer code, books, music. Logic is information. Okay? Pretty simple stuff, right? Ravi Zacharias, another brilliant man, and I know that he had some things at the end of his life that were less than admirable, but it didn't matter. His argument still stood, because again, logic and objective truth is irrelevant to how somebody is or how we feel. You know, the argument is the argument, the truth is the truth. And Ravi used to say something really important. He was a very brilliant man. I mean, he was on par with some of the best physicists in the world. He said, when you lose the why, you eventually lose the what. Now that is a very profound statement. Okay? When you lose the why, you eventually lose the what. Logic isn't simply useful, it is meaningful. It points toward rationality itself. Okay. Now, we're going to move to the Christian explanation. All right? We're going to see how Christianity explains this. John 1:1. Let's hear it. In the beginning was the Logos. Now, in English, unfortunately, English doesn't do it justice. So we have to go in the original language of the Greek. The Greek language is a beautiful language. It's the language of philosophy, because, for example, we use the word love. Greek has 4 different words for love, okay? That mean 4 different things, but all we would call love. In the same way, when John 1:1 said the Word was with God and the Word was God, the Word in this instance was called the Logos, okay? There's a deep philosophical meaning to the word here, the Logos. It's not just simply a word. It is so much deeper, okay? So in the beginning was the Logos, and the Logos was God, and the Logos was with God, right? Logos doesn't simply mean word. It also carried ideas of reason, rationality, order, intelligibility. Christianity doesn't say logic exists by accident. It says reality is rational because it comes from a rational creator. Information comes from a mind. We know this. People, we know this to be true. It's simple. Okay? Information comes from a mind. It comes from a rational creator in this sense. All right. So what's the verdict here, guys? What's Exhibit B here? So far, the verdict is truth exists. All right. That's Exhibit A. Exhibit B, logic exists. Okay. Both of these are immaterial. Both are universal. Both are necessary. Neither can be explained by matter alone. The evidence points toward mind. Not yet to Christianity. We haven't gotten there yet, okay? But so far, the evidence points toward a mind. Not yet to Christianity, but toward mind. All right, next time, we'll ask another question. If logic requires mind, why does morality exist? Now we're going to really get into it, folks. Why do good and evil feel objectively real? That's our next exhibit. Truth cuts both ways. Today's exhibit raises another question, and that's going to be on the next video. So anyways, guys, court is adjourned. Examine the evidence, render your verdict. Truth cuts both ways, and we will see you later. Subscribe now to Sword of Truth Apologetics as we go on this journey of proving Christianity. Thanks, guys. Court is adjourned.